Next. Next. This is a classic UFO photograph. It's considered one of the best ever taken and is considered by every expert to be absolutely genuine. Next. This is the man who took Albert Einstein's place, Stephen Hawking's. How many of you read his book? Anybody here? I would suggest that you read it. Next. Another lenticular cloud formation. Is there really a cloud? Or could they possibly have the ability to generate what looks like a cloud around them? I don't have the answer to that question. Next. I read in documents when I was in naval intelligence that they do have the ability to generate clouds of what appears to be clouds around, I guess water vapor. I have no idea in the world what those are except clouds. Next. And next. Is this what they're trying to make us believe is happening? So that we'll accept a one-world government, give up our freedoms, submit to totalitarian control? Is that the easiest way to control us so that we won't destroy the earth? Is that what this is all about? That, by the way, is from The Creature from the Black Lagoon, which was a classic horror film for you buffs. Next. And next. They do exist, folks. For those of you who thought they didn't, never saw any, they exist. This was taken from an airplane window. So you know that nobody threw a hubcap into the air. It's above the clouds. Next. This was taken by a tourist in Hawaii. He didn't even know that it was in the sky. He was taking a picture of these beautiful women, and it wasn't until he got the pictures back and he was showing his vacation photographs to a friend, or at least this is the story, that his friend said, "What's that?" And he said, "What?" I never saw that. And this is a close-up. Next slide. Incredible. Next. Now, they say this is a UFO. I spent a lot of time in Vietnam, and it sure looks like a flare to me. Next. Anybody know what this is? This is the Russian space shuttle. What's it look like? Looks like the U.S. space shuttle. Now, I'm going to tell you something that for some of you is just going to shatter your whole world. The United States and the Soviet Union have been secret allies ever since World War II. And the guise of antagonism between us has been artificially produced to create large sums of money from the populations of both countries for experimental methods of controlling populations and to fund and carry on a joint space program to colonize the moon and Mars. Please don't hang me. But it's the truth. Every bit of technology that the Soviets have ever obtained has been given to them covertly by the United States of America. This is no accident. That is our space shuttle that we gave to them. The only thing is theirs has a little bit better technology in it because we experimented with ours first. We gave them the atomic bomb, and then we fried the Rosenbergs as scapegoats. Next. Next. These are a series of photographs put together from the Venus orbiter. The United States maintains that the atmosphere of Venus is so thick that we cannot take pictures of the surface of Venus, and cameras and film will not last, or cameras and TV cameras will not last on the surface of Venus to send back pictures. So they do what's called cloud-penetrating radar mapping, and that's what this is. For you hollow earth folks, there's a hole up there. I don't know what it means. Next. any of you see this happening, please call me immediately. Next. This is a photograph of the Russian Venusian lander sitting on the surface of Venus, sending back pictures of a sun-drenched desert landscape. Somebody's lying. Immediately after the Russians released this photograph, officials and government people from Washington called a high-level meeting with the Russian space program people, and you never saw it again. Next. These are comparisons of the two, the Russian photographs and the photographs that we get. Now, I want to give you some food for thought. Recently, they had a flyby of Uranus. Remember that? And most of us were glued in the middle of the night to our TV set, hoping to see something strange that we'd never seen before and get a little bit of illumination from what was happening out in space. The target of the probe was the planet. Does anybody remember that? The target was the planet. The main interest for the flyby was the planet. What did we see? Anybody know? Did anybody stay up like I did and watch? We saw the moons of Uranus. We saw one long-range shot of the planet, and we never saw it again. But we saw the most incredible close-ups of the moons of Uranus that you could possibly hope for. Why? Why wouldn't they show us the planet? And it happened elsewhere also. Next. This is a book after its kind, and the documentation I saw, that symbol there was said to be the trilateral signal, or trilateral symbol used by the aliens as their symbol. It literally means, in ancient writing, I found it, finally. The first place I ever saw it, outside the official documents, was on this book. The second place was in a Bible that contained a page of old ancient Christian symbols. And another one, I found a book in the library, I forget the book, but it was about symbology and symbols. And this is an ancient symbol that means mother and father with the children. See, these are two old symbols. You take this apart and you have a mother symbol and a father symbol, or a man and a woman symbol. Put them together, it's mother and father. It can also mean the process of reproduction. With a circle on one side, it means one child. With a circle on the other, it means two. This literally means mother and father with the children. The thesis for this book is a scientifically dependable yet popular analysis of the theory of evolution. In it, he asserts that there must have been some outside interbreeding or influence or genetic insertion into the human race to produce modern man. Next slide. This book was first written in 1927. Next. This is an article that just says how they can move technology, secret technology, from government laboratories into the world. Next. And next. Oh no, go back one. Go back one, please. Right here. This is a perfect illustration, folks. Look at this photograph, and you'll see that in the shadows there is no detail whatsoever. In space, without an atmosphere, there can be no detail in shadows, because the only thing that will produce light in shadows is diffusion of light through an atmosphere. Now, next photograph, which proves that this photograph was not taken on the moon. Or if it was taken on the moon, there is an atmosphere. Next. Oh, this was right after I gave my talk in Sedona, which I'm sure some of you know about. I was driving back the back roads because I wanted to see some of Arizona, because I had fallen in love with Arizona, and now I've moved there, and I'll show you how much I've fallen in love with it. And I saw this cloud form.